Well, the EU aid volunteer scheme actually originates in a decision made by heads of state and government. And I believe the idea was there were three objectives. The first was to make sure that there would be always a critical mass of people that would actually be able to give assistance, offer assistance in a qualified manner to situations of disaster or conflict in third countries. The second was to engage Europeans, make sure that at all times you had a number of European citizens that had gone through that experience. Why? Because that brings back knowledge about these countries that can actually, to be very political, influence the perceptions in Europe. And I think that is also worth keeping in mind. And the third aspect, I would say, was because it was at the onset of the crisis. It was also to give an avenue for people that were looking for something meaningful to do, and not only to do it inside Europe, but also to give them a possibility to go outside. There is also, I believe, a recognition that we need a recruitment basis for a lot of our NGOs. When they do their work overseas, it is important that we nurture a minimum of people that have some qualifications that can do that. And the European aid volunteer scheme, that it is now called, will do exactly that. We are not going to just send people out there that knock on the door and say, I would like to be a volunteer. No. They have actually to be going through some training. They have to be sent out and framed in organizations that have an experience that can guide them, so that we are sure that not only do they try to do good, but they are actually able to do good on the basis of some qualifications. Obviously, they will not have all the qualifications that old-timers in the business would have, but the hope is that they would actually offer something, but learn a lot and bring back a lot to Europe that then can be offered to the NGO community. And as you know, the NGOs are vital for European humanitarian assistance, because we execute our projects through the NGOs and through the UN system and the international agencies. That is why it's so important that we are checking the quality of the partners that are going to embed the volunteers, that we also make sure that we sort of can guarantee that the volunteers that actually apply have a certain minimum set of skills and qualifications. It is obvious also that as we are sponsoring the scheme, we have to be very conscious about security risks. We have to be very conscious about acting as a bonus pater familias to take care of not only if there's a security incident, but health problems, repatriation, if there are different issues like that. So this has also been built into the proposal. We have made sure in the proposal that we open up for activities in what I would call early recovery, what I would call resilience type projects. And that actually opens quite wide the possibility that they will operate in the interface between humanitarian projects and development projects. And this is exactly what I think would be useful, because we have come to realize that even with the generosity coming from the European taxpayers, which has been immense, needs vastly outstrip financial resources. So we have to learn to work across the borderline. I need the development actors to be mindful of the vulnerability of the most risky people around the globe, to focus development assistance onto those parts of the world that are really in risk of drought, climate change effects, floods, landslides, civil unrest, political instability, bad governance. The more our development actors get into that mindset and move a little bit from building motorways, but build motorways taking into account good governance and maintenance structures and socio-economic realities around, the lesser I will be burdened by picking up the bill later. So the volunteers have actually been given a broader mandate than purely life-saving. And I'm very happy with that.